Happy New Year! Happy 2026! Did I just spit on you? I was a bit excited. I said 2026. I think I spit on you a little bit. Sorry about that. That's not how you were hoping to bring in the new year, were you? Getting spit on by me? Maybe it was. Maybe that was your dream come true. Maybe that was your New Year's resolution. You were thinking, I want Mark. My oven finished preheating. Maybe you were thinking, I want to start the new year by having Mark spit on me. Well, in that case, your New Year's resolution has been fulfilled. It's come true already, right? Guys, do you remember my New Year's resolution last year for 2025? My New Year's resolution was to make more cooking videos. I did. I accomplished my New Year's resolution, right? I can pat myself on the back. Thank you guys for watching all my cooking videos in 2026 and all my other videos too, and for always smashing the thumbs up and leaving nice comments. I really appreciate that. Guys, welcome back to another episode of English Cooking, where I teach you English through cooking. Today, we are going to make bona fide lasagna. Bona fide lasagna. Have you ever heard of that? No, you haven't. Because I just made it up right now. I just made that name up right now. Because I want to teach you this word, and I want to talk about this word bona fide as we go into the new year. Okay, so as we start 2026, I want to talk about an idea. Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about lasagna. We're going to make lasagna, and we're going to talk about 2026, and we're going to talk about bona fide. So what does bona fide mean? Have you ever heard that word? It's usually people think about it as one word, even though it has two pieces, but it's one idea. Okay, and bona fide means, it means genuine, authentic, honest, verified, true, pure-hearted. Are you a bona fide person? Let me ask you a question. If you were going to donate some money to a charity, would you want that charity to be bona fide? Or would you want that charity to be a scam? So if the charity is bona fide, that means that the charity it's a real charity, right? It's that they're doing good work, right? And your money is going to go toward real stuff. You know, a lot of charities in the world, a lot of charities are not real charities. They're scams. They just want your money. Or they're almost more like a company where they're trying to make money for themselves, and very little money actually goes to poor people or sick people or animals, or whatever the charity is. Some charities help animals, some charities help people, some charities help are there any insect charities? Have you ever heard of any charities that help insects or help robots? Most charities are to help people. Some charities help animals. I don't know. So bona fide, if a charity is bona fide, That's a good thing. That means they're a verified, they're a verified organization. They're genuine. They're authentic. Okay, these are all good words. So are you bona fide? Or are you a fake person? That's what I want to talk about today as we make this lasagna, as we go into 2026. Because a lot of people talk a good game, but they never deliver the goods. Did you understand my sentence? A lot of people talk a good game, but they never deliver the goods. What does that mean? Well, that sentence has two idioms back to back. Okay? The first idiom is, what did I say? Can't even remember what I said, guys. They talk a good game. Okay, that's the first idiom, to talk a good game. The second idiom is deliver the goods. So in that sentence, one idiom was followed immediately by another idiom. So both idioms were back to back. So a lot of people talk a good game, but they don't deliver the goods. So what does that mean? Well, if you talk a good game, that means you sound confident. You sound convincing. But really, there's not much there. Okay? Like, imagine if you work as a car salesman. All right? And you sound like you know how to sell cars. You sound like you're a good salesman. You sound like you know what you're doing. But imagine if you've never sold any cars. Maybe all last year you sold one car. But when people see you and they hear you talk, they think, wow, he must be a really successful salesman. Wow, he knows what he's talking about, or she, right? Women also work as car sales women. They're not called salesmen then. They're saleswomen. Or you could just make it kind of gender neutral. You could say salesperson. Salesperson. Okay. So, are you a salesperson? Have you ever made any sales? Because imagine if you're a salesperson, your job is to sell products or services, right? But imagine if you never sell anything, but people think you're a great salesman. Well, then there's a problem, right? Then you're talking a good game, but you're not delivering the goods. So what does that mean, to deliver the goods? In this case, it would mean you're not producing anything. You're not resulting in it's not resulting in success. It's not resulting in something real, right? So notice the word real is going to come up over and over in this video today. Okay? Real. That's what it means to be authentic, to be real, to be genuine, to be bona fide. Bona fide, okay? Now, I should just mention with idioms, okay? Sometimes with English idioms, like talk a good game, don't try to figure out why the idiom uses certain words or why it seems it might seem a bit grammatically confusing. What does it mean to talk a good game? Talk a good game. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, and even native English speakers don't know why idioms are the way they are. So don't think too much about it. Don't worry too much about it. If it doesn't make sense to you, it also doesn't make sense to me. Talk a good game. So what it means, though, it means to act like convincing in something. So if someone, very often people can, you think they know what they're talking about, but then you find out they don't know what they're talking about, right? Politicians are a great example of this, right? Politicians, they arrive on the scene and they say, we are going to fix the economy. I know how to do it. I'm going to fix the economy. Well, do they fix the economy? No, they never do, right? They talk a good game, but they don't deliver the goods. Okay? So here in Canada, the politicians are like that. How about in your country? Do the politicians in your country talk a good game, but fail to deliver the goods? So, without further ado, guys, let's start our recipe. Now, why did I name this bonafide lasagna? Well, it's because actually we're not going to follow a recipe in this video. We are going to try to use our brains and think. Have you ever done that? Have you ever tried to think? It's hard work. It's something that most people avoid. Most people don't want to think because it's too hard. They just want someone else to tell them what to do. Okay, so here's a great example. Right on the back of this, so here's our lasagna noodles, right? Well, on the back of this lasagna, there's a recipe. There's a recipe written there because most people don't know how to make lasagna, so they need a recipe. Well, I haven't even looked at that recipe. We're not going to follow a recipe, guys, in this video. What we're going to try to do is we're going to try to exercise our brain muscle we're going to try to make a lasagna by just thinking through it, okay? Now this is a very good thing that people need to do more and more, because what we're seeing these days is people are not thinking through things themselves. They're using AI apps or whatever to think for them. And this is really dangerous. It's way more dangerous than people imagine. Guys, this is serious. Okay, so part of this video, I want to be talking about serious things, even though it's a Happy New Year video. And I'm excited for the new year. Hope it's a great year for you. Hope it's we can hope for a lot of good stuff, right? But we can't just flush our brains down the toilet. Okay, if you flush your brain down the toilet, it means you don't even think. You're not thinking. Okay, so we are going to try to make lasagna from scratch. From scratch means just all the basic ingredients. We're going to try to do it ourselves without following a recipe. We're going to try to be authentic, genuine, and we're going to try ourselves. We're not going to lean on a recipe. And we're going to see. Now, this could be a complete flop. I've never done this before, guys. I've never made a lasagna just by thinking about it. So I honestly don't know if this is going to be a success. It might be a complete flop. Do you know what that means? If something is a flop, or if something flops, it could be a noun or a verb, right? What that means is it's a failure. Okay, it does not succeed. So imagine if you see a baby trying to walk. Okay, the baby tries to stand up, and then the baby flops over. That's what it means to flop. Right? A baby stands up, maybe tries to take a step and flops. So our lasagna today might flop. It's a verb. It might flop, or it might be a flop, which is a noun. Okay? So it might, but you know, we might get it bang on. Right? We might get this bang on. What does that mean? Bang on. Bang on means exactly, perfectly. Okay? So if I ask you, what is 1 plus 1? And you say, hey Mark, the answer is 2. I would say, bang on. Bang on. You got it right. You got the right answer. 1 plus 1 is 2. Bang on. So bang on means precise, exact. You got it. Bang on, okay? So I hope this doesn't flop. I hope we get it bang on. The thing is, in life, if you want to be an authentic person, if you want to be bona fide, you know, it requires that you try to make an honest effort and not just live your life based on what other people are telling you or what AI is telling you, right? Guys, you know what I've realized is that most people are just following their culture. Most people just do what their culture tells them to do. And so they don't really think through anything themselves. Okay, you know, culture has like a stranglehold on people. Does it have a stranglehold on you? Do you know what stranglehold means? So strangle means like this. Strangle means you can't breathe because your neck is getting like somehow constricted. Somehow it's like it's not like choking. Like, although choking could be used in that way. I mean, imagine if you eat something and it goes down the wrong hatch. That means it goes down the windpipe. It goes down your windpipe, not your esophagus. Okay? Hatch is another word for door or flap. So in the back of your throat, you have a little thing called the epiglottis. And when you swallow, the epiglottis covers the windpipe. And so the food, your food or your drink, goes down the right hatch. It goes down the right doorway, which is the esophagus. And it goes down into your stomach. If food goes down the wrong hatch, that means the food would go down here in your breathing pipe. And you start to choke. So that's what choke means. Strangle is a more violent word. Strangle means like that. Okay? So if somebody has a stranglehold on you, that means they like control you. They're got you in like a headlock, you know? If you got someone's head here, right, and you got them like that, that means you have them in a headlock or you have them in a stranglehold. It means they can't do anything. It's like they're powerless. They're powerless. So I'm saying culture has people in a stranglehold. And it tells them what they need to think and how to think or not to think. So, you know, for example, when people just use AI for everything, it prevents them from developing their brain muscle, their thinking muscle. So guys, okay, let's get cooking. We've done a lot of talking. Okay, so we're going to use our brains to think about this. So what is lasagna? Well, have you ever eaten lasagna before? I have. I love lasagna. It's basically what you see here in the picture. Okay, we got noodles, which are these lasagna noodles, and some kind of meat sauce. So I have ground beef. Got some ground beef here. Right, we're gonna put that in the pot. Actually, let's do that right away while I'm talking. I've done enough talking already. Let's get some olive oil. We're gonna just brown our beef. Okay, what does it mean to brown something? It means to just fry ground beef. Okay, the word brown is a color. It's an adjective, right? It's like you could say, Mark, you have brown eyes. Yeah, brown is an adjective. But browning beef, it's like a verb. It's a verb, okay? So we are going to brown beef. Isn't that weird? We're going to brown beef until it's brown. Okay? So we're just going to dump our beef. Look at that. Beef. All right. So now that we have our beef browning, what else? So basically we need to make some sort of a meat sauce. And the meat sauce is going to be a combination of meat, which is our ground beef, plus some kind of tomato sauce. Some kind of tomato-based something. And then what's the third thing we need is cheese. Okay? So we basically, to make lasagna, we don't need to look up a recipe. We can just think about what it is. It's layers of noodles. It's some kind of meat sauce. And it's some kind of cheese. Now, what kind of cheese? I mean, you look at this picture, right? What do you see here? Well, you see there could be two kinds of cheese, right? So we have maybe a cheese somewhere in the middle of the lasagna, and we have cheese on top. Some kind of layer of cheese. What kind of cheese would you want? What do you want the flavor to taste like? So if we think about the lasagna, okay, what do you want to be eating? What do you want the flavor to be like? And what do you want the texture to be like? Because those questions are going to determine what we put in our lasagna. I mean, do you want it spicy? Do you want it not spicy? Do you want it like dry? Do you want it like crunchy, moist? What do you want? So that's why we need to think through this. Let me just give my beef a stir, guys. So tomato, what kind of tomato product can we put in there to make our meat sauce? Well, there are different ones. One kind is called tomato paste. Look at this, I bought this today. Tomato paste. So tomato paste is a very thick kind of tomato sauce. Another one is called tomato sauce, which is less thick than tomato paste. And there's another one I had in my fridge. This is called pasta sauce. All right, pasta sauce. Here we got pizza sauce. Do I have any other tomato? And we got another tomato-y kind of sauce called salsa. Okay? Lasagna is a very customizable type of food. Customizable means you can just kind of add this or that. Whatever you want, however you want to customize it. It's got to basically have noodles, meat, and cheese. But after that, I mean, do you want vegetables in there? Do you want vegetables in the lasagna? Yay or nay? Yay or nay? That means yes or no. Okay? Yay or nay? So, like you can see here in this picture, there's some zucchini, I think that's, or spinach or zucchini in there, right? So guys, this morning, when I was walking through the grocery store, I was planning to make lasagna. I was planning to make this, I was thinking about this video that I'm making now, and I was thinking, what do I want to be eating? What flavors do I want in the lasagna? And I decided, you know what, I want broccoli. Okay, I like the taste of broccoli with meat, so I bought some broccoli. There we go, there's our broccoli. Let me just give the beef a stir, guys. I love green olives. So I bought some green olives. Yeah, that's the flavors I was thinking. I want the flavor of olives in my lasagna. Now, a lot of people hate olives. I'm not sure why. Let me know, do you love olives or do you hate them? I don't know why so many people hate olives. They're so good. I love the flavor, especially of green olives, although I like black olives too. So we're going to add 26 green olives to celebrate year 2026. Happy New Year, guys. Happy 2026. Let me know your what your New Year's resolutions are. Let me know your hopes for the new year. Guys, before I do anything else, let's press our garlic. So you put a clove of garlic into your garlic press, and you just squeeze it, and you press the garlic. So I'm just going to press the garlic. There we go. All right, we're gonna add one more, and then we're gonna add it to our beef that's browning. All right. Okay, there we go. So there's our pressed garlic. Do you have a garlic press, guys? They're very cool. They're great. I use it all the time. I love garlic. And just when you press garlic, it like releases more flavor from the garlic, right? It's better than just like chopping it. So yeah, we're just gonna dump this in here. So now that the beef is almost finished browning, we're gonna open up our tomato paste. This is called a can opener, guys. Apparently I'm not very skilled at using can openers. And guys, the thing about being an authentic person, I think that, if you want to be a bona fide person, you have to recognize that you don't know. Well, you don't know so many things in life, right? So we're trying authentically to make this lasagna, right? I don't know what I'm doing. I kind of know, but I don't know. How much sauce should we add here? Like, is this enough sauce? I mean, we know that the noodles, okay, these noodles are dry. Let me take out some noodles. Have you ever tried to eat a raw lasagna noodle? Like, they're very hard, okay? Look at that. Okay, they're very hard. So these noodles are going to absorb a lot of moisture. Do we need to cook the noodles before making the lasagna? Or can we just put these noodles on dry and make the lasagna? Probably both, right? I don't know. I don't know the answer. But we can kind of think through it, right? I got pizza sauce. I got tomato paste all over my hands, guys. So in life, there are often many ways you can do something. And there's probably a best way. But the thing is, how do you know what the best way is unless you try to figure it out, right? And that's how we learn as humans. We learn through trial and error. You try, you fail. Like a baby stands up, flops. Stands up, flops again. You know, and over time the baby becomes competent at walking. All right? We're just gonna kind of see what happens. All right? So I'm just gonna put a bit of that in. We're gonna put some salsa in there, make it a little bit maybe spicy. Give it a little bit of salsa flavor. Maybe give it like some Mexican flavor. Now, lasagna is Italian, right? Italian. Man, those Italians, they knocked it out of the park. When Italians invented lasagna, they knocked it out of the park. Do you know what that means? I would say lasagna is a kind of food, guys, that is so good. It's so amazing. And it was invented, I think, by Italians, right? So they knocked it out of the park. So that's another idiom. It's a baseball idiom. It means to totally succeed, to do an amazing job at this, right? Like when in baseball, when you hit a home run, that means you hit the ball very far. And it might even go so far that it's completely out of the stadium. That means you would knock it out of the park. So if the best kind of hit in baseball is to knock the ball out of the park. So if we say, you know, if I say Italians totally knocked it out of the park, that means Italians did such a good job inventing lasagna that it's amazing. It's totally amazing. The question we need to ask is, how runny do we want our meat sauce to be? Okay, how runny? That means how liquidy do we want it? Because I've already decided that we're not going to cook these noodles. Okay, I don't think we need to cook them because the moisture from the meat sauce is going to, like, these noodles are going to absorb all the liquid from the meat sauce while this is cooking. So we need to make sure that we have enough, we need to make sure that our meat sauce is runny enough so that it doesn't get dry. Okay? Now the other thing is that cheese also has some moisture, right? So what kind of cheese, all right? What kind of cheese are we gonna use? Now, if you look at this picture, right, you'll notice that the kind of cheese in the middle is like white. It's kind of a white kind of cheese. Now, what cheese is that? Is it feta cheese? You could probably use feta if you want. You could use Parmesan cheese. Now, the cheese that I bought today, I bought some different kinds, okay? I bought cottage cheese. It's a thing of cottage cheese. I bought ricotta cheese. Okay, look at that. Ricotta cheese. I think that's how you say it. I don't know what it is. Look, it says soft white cheese. Okay? So I really like this kind of cheese, soft white cheese. It's kind of got a good, almost like a spongy texture. Okay? If a texture is spongy, it's like a sponge. This is a sponge, right? It absorbs moisture, but it kind of gives it something like a lighter texture, right? So that's why I bought ricotta cheese. We're gonna try to put ricotta cheese in the lasagna. Also, there's a new kind of cheese there. I'd never heard about this. That's why I bought it. You know, it's called bocconcini. I don't know how to pronounce Italian words, guys. You let me know how to pronounce it. Bocconcini. Is that how you say it? So again, look, it says fresh, soft, white cheese. So I'll show you the difference here. I already peeked in at these. already because I was kind of curious. So this is what this kind of cheese is. It's like round balls of cheese. There it is, a bocconcini. That's I've never heard about this cheese before, guys. Now, so interesting. I bought it because I was kind of curious about what it was. Sometimes, guys, if you want to, if you want to be able to do anything in life, you have to be willing to try new things, right? Now, here in Canada, you're not going to find ricotta cheese in the normal cheese section, like of your grocery store. Let me just, where is my normal cheese? I have normal cheese here. We're also going to add normal cheese on top, okay? Now, this kind of cheese is in one area of the grocery store. This kind of specialty cheese is in, you'll find it in the deli section, okay? So don't go to this kind of cheese and be looking for ricotta cheese. You're not going to find it there in Canada. Ricotta cheese is over in the deli area, all right? So, guys, this is what ricotta cheese looks like. It kind of looks like cottage cheese, but it's a little bit different. I'll show you cottage cheese in a second. It's very runny. It's a runny kind of cheese. Let me get a spoon here. All right, so this is what cottage cheese looks like. So you can tell that there's a pretty big difference between cottage cheese and ricotta. So this is gonna factor into the texture. Like I said, what kind of texture do we want in the lasagna? Like when you take a bite of lasagna, what do you want it to feel like in your mouth? What do you want that texture to be? So that's why I bought ricotta cheese. And you can also see on the lid here, there's actually a picture of lasagna. So obviously a lot of people use ricotta cheese to make lasagna. But I think you can use, like, we're just thinking through this, right? Does it really matter? Like, very often, if you combine good things, you get good results, right? The result is not going to be bad. Like, what's the worst case scenario here? If I try to make this lasagna and it's a flop, what does that mean? Does that mean it's not going to taste good? Or does it mean it's not going to be the right shape or the right texture? Like, guys, sometimes in life, people are afraid of doing something because they don't know how to do it. But really, there's nothing to lose. Like, if we're trying to make this lasagna here. I've never made lasagna like this before. You know, but what's the worst case scenario? Well, worst case scenario is it catches on fire and I burn down my house. But is that going to happen? Is that realistic? No, I preheated my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 175 Celsius. So we're going to put the cheese on top. We're going to cover it with tin foil, with aluminum. We're going to cover it with aluminum foil, guys, so it's not going to burn. There's going to be enough liquid in the lasagna to prevent it from, like, burning. Okay? So, yeah, that's why we have to think through this. How much liquid, how runny do we want the meat sauce? How much cheese do we want? How much this, how much of that? So, let's make our cheese mixture. So we're gonna make a mixture out of cheese. So man, my whole countertop is so cluttered. Are your countertops always cluttered in your house? Cluttered means they're very messy. There's just so much stuff everywhere. You know why? It's because I don't have enough counter space. Right? If you can see my kitchen here, I've got some counter space here. I got like this much counter space here, and I've got my oven. That's not counter. That's not counter space. That's the stove top. All right. And then I've got that counter space there. But, you know, I've never had enough counter space in any house I've ever lived. So you know what? If I ever build my own house, I'm literally going to build a kitchen that has like 10 feet of solid counter space. Just pure countertop. I would love that. Just so much counter. Yeah, I get it. It would probably still be cluttered, guys. I bet it would still be cluttered. So that's what the word clutter means, kind of messy and just disorganized. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to make a cheese, like a cheese sauce, basically. Now how much, here's the other thing we need to think about, okay? We're going to make our lasagna in this kind of a pan, okay? Now what do you call this kind of a pan in English? This is a skill testing question. What do you call this kind of pan? This is called a 9 by 13 pan, or 9 by 13 dish, a 9 by 13 dish. What do those numbers mean? 9 by 13, what does that mean? It means we're talking about the dimensions in inches, okay? So 9 inches. Look, I've got my tape measure here. This is called a tape measure, okay? In Canada and the US, tape measures measure in inches. Look at that. Inches and centimeters, okay? So for so many things in Canada and the US, we don't use centimeters, we use inches. You have to say it that way. Okay, so that means it's going to be 9 inches wide, and there it is. Perfect. It's 9 inches wide and 13 inches long. That's why it's called a 9 by 13. What do you call this kind of pan in your country? Is it a 9 by 13? So this is a very standard size. So what we're going to do is we're going to use all our ricotta cheese here. I'm going to dump all of it in here. And we're going to put in a little bit of cottage cheese. All right, maybe not all of it, because, you know, I don't know. Guys, I don't know. And you know what? If you don't know how to do something in life, I wish it were more socially acceptable to say, I don't know. I don't know how to do this or that, or, you know, even for basic things, sometimes I don't know how to do them. And in our society, you might get mocked or ridiculed if you don't know how to do something, right? People will say, look at that loser. He doesn't know how to do anything. Well, you know, if you want to be a person of integrity, if you want to be a bona fide person, right? A person with a pure heart, you have to be willing to start at a low position and then slowly work your way up. Okay, so we're going to just, we want this to be a little bit more runny, so we're going to add some eggs, right? Going to add a couple of cracked eggs. Where's my other egg? We're going to, put a couple of eggs in here. Is that the right thing to do? I don't know. It might be the wrong thing to do, guys. Now we're going to add some salt, right? How much salt? I don't know. You know, in life, most of the time we don't know what we're doing. Right now, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm fairly confident that this lasagna it's still going to taste good. Because if we're combining a lot of stuff that tastes good, I know, I like olives, I like beef, I like tomato sauce, I like noodles, I like cheese. So we're going to put it all together and just, you know, we're just going to try. That's what I'm asking for us to do in 2026. Okay, so while I mix this, I want to go back to the word real. Real. That's basically what bona fide means. Bona fide, something that is genuine. Okay, it's not a fake. It's not fake. It's the opposite of fake. I'm gonna add a bit of pepper, you know. We're just adding a bit of this and a bit of that, guys. I don't know. Yeah, that's about good. Guys, if you go on dating websites today, or dating apps, and you look at people's profiles, you read their bio, you know, the things they say. You know, my name is Mark, I'm this and that, I do like this, I like watching movies, I have a pet dog, you know, just different things that people write in their bios. I don't have a pet dog, guys. But, yeah, like, you know what you're going to see over and over again? People write one phrase that I've seen probably thousands of times in my life. I've wasted a lot of time online, you know, different apps, dating sites, that kind of thing. You know what people always say? They say, I'm looking for something real. Looking for something real. What does that mean? Why are they writing that? Well, let me ask you, why are they doing that? While you're thinking, I'm going to add some parsley flakes to our... Now, should I add this into the meat sauce? Or should I add the parsley flakes into the cheese? Does it matter? Does a decision like this matter, guys? It might matter, but but my current level of knowledge doesn't see why it would matter. So I don't know. But so I'm just going to put it in here, guys. I don't know. Maybe it would be better if I were to put it into the meat sauce. So there we go. There, guys, there's our cheese mixture right there. This is the stuff we're going to put onto our lasagna in layers, okay? So with that phrase, I want something real. What does it mean? Why are people writing that? I think the reason they're writing that is because they had a relationship in the past that was fake. Okay? They somehow, they experienced the pain of fake people. You know, maybe they met someone who they thought was real, like a genuine person, but that person was fake, and so it made the whole relationship fake, and it hurt them. Right? So now they're writing. They're starting a new, you know, they're going to stick their neck out again into the dating world. If you stick your neck out, that means you're going to try again. You try to expose yourself a little bit. You try to take a risk. Okay? You put yourself out there. You put your neck out there. It means you kind of make yourself vulnerable to attack, because your neck is a very, you know, it's a delicate part of the body, right? That's why turtles, if turtles feel threatened, they bring their head back into their shell. Okay? They retract their neck and head in, so it's covered under the shell. So when you stick your neck out, you are kind of exposing yourself to potential attack, potential risk, right? So when people go through a painful relationship, and when they stick their neck out again, they might write, looking for something real. So, wow. The reason they're writing that is because they got hurt by something that was fake. So guys, this is the thing. Fake stuff hurts real people. Okay, if you want to be real, you're going to hate what is fake, right? So my goal in 2026 is to become more real, more bona fide, more genuine, more authentic. How about you? I'd like to ask you to join me in that, because these days we're seeing everything becoming fake, right? You see fake videos all over online. Let's just give me a second. All right, it's looking good, guys. This is gonna be great. So yeah, so this year, I would say, like this past year, 2025, was the year where we saw fake things ramp up exponentially. Do you know what that means? If I say everything fake just ramped up exponentially, what does that mean? Well, to ramp up means to increase, okay? If something ramps up, it means it goes up, it increases. Now, what does exponentially mean? That's a good question. Look at this. Look at this number. See the number 6? That's a normal number. Now, look at that little number that I wrote up there. What's this little number here doing up here? What is it? That little number is called an exponent. Okay, it's an exponent. And what does it do? It's just small. It's a little number, so it must be useless, right? It's just a useless little 7 there. No, it's actually a very powerful number. Okay, now how do you read this in English? Tell me in the comments how you read this number in English. Would you say it's 6 times 7? No, you wouldn't say that. That's a different idea. This, I'll tell you how you say it in English, okay? This is 6 to the power of 7, okay? 6 to the power of, that we're talking about the exponent, the 7. 6 to the power of 7. That's how you read it in English. It's powerful, guys. The number 7 there, it's powerful. 6 to the power of 7. Wow. So if we talk about something ramping up exponentially, it means it's going like this. It's not going up in an even way. It's not like that. It's going up exponentially. So do you remember a couple years ago when AI first came out? When you first were seeing like AI images, maybe people with like extra fingers or weird looking body parts, just a couple years ago. I remember 2 years ago talking with someone about this, and we were talking about AI, how it's just suddenly AI pictures, and at that point, that was just kind of when AI video was starting to come out. Videos of maybe like Donald Trump dancing with Kim Jong-un or something like that, right? It's fake, right? Well, now, for the first time in 2025, guys, recently, just in the past few months, I think we've reached the point of indistinguishability. What does that mean? Indistinguishable. What does it mean if something is indistinguishable? It means that you don't know how to tell the difference by looking at it. Okay? So imagine if two people are identical twins. Right? Let's say two sisters are twins and they're identical twins. That means if they wear the same clothes, you'll have no idea which one is which because they look identical. Okay? That means what you could say is, I can't distinguish between them. They are indistinguishable. Okay, indistinguishable. Well, how do we make that word into a noun? We could say indistinguishability. Okay, so I think we've reached the point now where AI videos are indistinguishable from reality. Have you noticed that? And that's just very recently, I would say. We've reached that probably in the last few months, because I remember last year when I was looking at videos, AI videos, I could still tell the difference. But nowadays, good AI videos, I can't tell the difference between real Donald Trump and fake Donald Trump. How about you? Can you tell the difference? Can you distinguish between reality and what's fake? You might think you can, but you might want to get off your high horse. You get off your high horse. High horse means you're maybe arrogant or proud. Okay, if you're on your high horse, that means you're very confident and arrogant about something. The way things are going, this is going exponentially, right? I would say in 2026, we are going to experience this like never before. Okay? Because it started with kind of like, fake pictures, fake videos, and all this stuff. Up until now, it's been fake. We are entering into a new era where truth itself is being like where you can't even tell with your eyes what is true and what isn't, and that is crazy. So what the phrase that you see on dating sites, I'm looking for something real. Well, up until now, what that's meant is I'm looking for like pure love, something pure, right? Real. That's what the word real means. Pure, like kind of like good intentions, serious love. Well, actually now, people are going to start using that phrase to actually mean real, as in a real person. Because if you go on dating apps today, just create a profile with any dating app, any dating site. I guarantee you, most of the profiles that you're going to see online are actually fake. They are AI. They're just AI. And so if you match with someone on a dating site or dating app and you start talking to them, you might realize, hey, I'm not talking to a real person here. This is a fake bot, a robot, or these are fake pictures. Now, you might be able to still tell that the person you're talking to isn't a real person. You might be able to tell that now. But just wait till the end of 2026. I think by the end of 2026, the technology will be so advanced that you probably will not be able to know if you're talking to a real person or a fake person. That is crazy, guys. That is very serious. So, more than ever now, we need people who are bona fide. We need people who are real, genuine. So all this like AI is ramping up. You and me need to decide to be bona fide people. That we're not going to, be part of this fake world. We're going to stand for truth. All right? And guys, literally, I think the world's population is sleepwalking into a very dangerous reality. So, guys, let's start making our lasagna here. Guys, I've been doing so much talking. Thank you guys for joining me in this video of me I'm having fun, guys, talking. But all right, so guys, you can see here I put down a layer of meat sauce, just a thin layer. And now we're gonna put a layer of noodles. So look at this. Let me get this cheese mixture out of the way so you can see what I'm doing here. Sorry about my cluttered countertop here. So yeah, we're gonna add a layer of noodles. So which is about 3, right? 3 noodles for our first layer. Now we're gonna add, I don't know, what's the right way to do this? I don't know. We're just trying. And we're gonna see if we get a good result. So don't fear. We can't live our life in fear of failure. because we might actually do a much better job than we thought we would, right? So we're going to add some cheese, right? I'm just going to kind of spoon it on like that. So yeah, that's about good. Now we're going to add, let's add some more meat on top of here, okay? Okay, so now we have meat, noodles, cheese, meat. Now, let's put some olives on, guys. Let's put 26 olives to bring in the new year, 2026. All right, guys, and while I'm counting out these olives, I want you to think about what your New Year's resolution is going to be for 2026. What are your goals? Let me know down in the comments. All right, so we got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. There we go, guys. Oh, I only have 3 left. That was good. A good guess. I was thinking, I think we have enough. I think we have enough there. That was right. So yeah, 26 olives. So that's what it looks like now. Now we're going to add, should we add our broccoli on there? Let's add our, maybe the broccoli's in the middle. I think that would be a good idea. All right, so we're just going to start, cutting our broccoli here. And we're just going to kind of cut it into thin. Got so much stuff on my table, it's kind of bumping my camera, I think. So we're just going to kind of cut off our broccoli like that. I don't know if this is a good idea, guys, but when I was walking around the grocery store this morning, I was kind of thinking, I love broccoli. Let's add some broccoli to our. Now, is that too much? Is this going to be too much broccoli? I don't know. I don't know. You'll notice that's a theme. I don't know. Guys, even when I started my YouTube channel, did I know what I was doing? No, I don't know. Let's add another layer of noodles here. Okay. So there we go. 1, 2, 3. 3 noodles. Man, guys, this is going to be a very thick lasagna because of that. I added that broccoli. Okay, so now we're going to add more cheese. We're thinking, right? The more you use your brain, the better you get at thinking. And that's the thing, most people these days don't actually want to think. They don't like doing it. They're more comfortable leaning on AI. They're more comfortable leaning on recipes, like following recipes. And it's not bad to follow recipes. It's good. It's a great thing to follow other people's recipes. But the thing is that at some point, in life, people need to be willing to stand alone if everybody is going the wrong direction. Right? Imagine if everybody who is following culture, they say, oh, I'm just following my culture, and their culture has a stranglehold on them, right? What if culture tells you to go in a way that's bad? Then how are you going to know to not follow the culture? How are you going to know that? You need to stand on your principles, right? You know what? What if we put in our noodles like this? Is that a good idea? Put them like this? No, that's not a good idea. And sometimes it's a good idea. It's good to recognize your own bad ideas. Right? I was thinking about ways we could use more noodles, putting them that way, but that might be a bad idea. Would that be a bad idea, guys, if we kind of put noodles in like this way? Sideways? Maybe we should try it, guys. Let's put in a noodle. Let's put in some noodles sideways, like that. All right, there's our sideways noodles. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. But basically, the last step we're gonna do is we're going to we're going to put on some cheese. We're going to grate some normal cheese, and we're going to put it on, and then we're going to pop it in the oven. Okay, so I'm just going to put this here. Marble cheese. Why is it called marble? Because this is, if you look at it, the combination of colors that's called marbling. Marbling, when you have like two or more colors that are kind of together. It's a marble. So this is why it's called marble cheese. It's a mixture of white cheese and cheddar and like orange cheddar. I think they're both cheddar. I think the white and the orange are both cheddar cheese. Because usually when people think of cheddar cheese, they think of orange colored cheese. But white cheese can also be cheddar cheese. Did you know that? Not all white cheese is mozzarella cheese or ricotta cheese or what was the other one? Bocconcini or something? I have no idea, guys, how to pronounce Italian words. So we're almost done, guys. Guys, I hope 2026 is, I hope it's a great year for you, actually. I think we're headed for major changes in the world. Like I said, everything fake is ramping up, and that's really scary. So I don't know if I have a lot of high hopes for 2026, but I hope it's a great year for you and also for me. Like, everybody wishes for a good year, right? Nobody wants a bad year. We're going to see what happens, guys. So I'm going to throw this bad boy in the oven. Remember I taught you the word bad boy? I'm going to throw this bad boy in the oven, and in an hour, I'm going to turn on my camera again. We'll do a taste test, and then I'll wish you a happy new year from there. Oh, look at this lasagna. The bona fide lasagna. Let's see how it turned out. I left it in for a little longer than an hour. So let's see what it looks like, guys. I'm kind of curious. All right. There it is. There it is, guys. I'll hold it up here so you can see it. How does that look? Interesting. So, probably wasn't the best idea to put the vertical noodles, vertical lasagna noodles like that. It looks pretty good. I love the smell of lasagna, guys. It smells great. Is it too soggy? If there's too much moisture, then you could say it's too soggy. You know, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Let's dig in. I'll give you the first plate. So I'm gonna dish you up a piece first, because you're my guest. Let's see, did that work? Oh, it's I didn't quite. Whoops. What do you think? Is that a flop? Kind of looks like a flop. It doesn't quite have the man, that smells great. It doesn't quite have the, you know, the you know, guys, and that gets to the point of this whole video. Is, would you rather have a good appearance, or would you rather actually be good? Which is better? Good or the appearance of good? Because the appearance of good that's not actually good, that means it's fake. And that is really dangerous. So the world is getting so much more fake. It's all about appearances. When there's no when there's no substance, right? So anyway, guys, let's do a taste test. So there you go. Remember, we didn't follow a recipe. I'd say this is pretty good. This is actually pretty good for, you know, not following a recipe. Ooh, look at that piece of cheese there. So guys, there you go. What do you think? Give it a taste. I'm going to eat a bit of your piece here. Do my taste test here. Man, that's hot. That's very good. That is very good. You know, it could even be a little bit more spicy. I thought it would... Can I get any... Let's get a jalapeno. It could be even, like... I could have put a bit more salsa in there, probably. That's great, man. Wow, that's really good. That's delicious. Guys, it's really good. I could have probably put a bit more salt, I could have put a bit more salt, a bit of salsa, a bit more maybe salsa, maybe even a little bit more cheese, like maybe a bit more normal cheese, like that kind of cheese on top. But that's great, guys. It's a good meal. It tastes good, you know. And guys, we did this without following a recipe, right? So, you know, sometimes in life, it's scary to try to be original, to try to do something yourself. It's scary to break away from the crowd. Now, let me ask you a question. Imagine if this lasagna would be better if we had followed a recipe. Imagine if this lasagna really isn't great. It is great, but let's say it wasn't great. Would this be a waste of resources? Would this just be a waste of money? Beef, cheese, noodles, everything. No, it wouldn't be a waste because, you know, anytime you're trying to figure something out, making a real effort to figure out. Like in this video, I made a real effort to figure out how to make lasagna just from my head, right? I did not consult a recipe. And this is actually pretty close to what a real lasagna is supposed to be. Did I learn some lessons? Yeah, it should be, I think, a bit more tomatoey. Should have put a bit more tomato-based stuff in there. A bit more salt. You know what? But with that kind of stuff, you can put pepper flakes. You know, I've got some pepper flakes. Yeah, look at this. I've got some crushed chilies. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing. Like we can add salt after. We can add some chili, you know, crushed chili peppers after. And so, yeah, you know, the thing in life is that if you try to do something and it doesn't, you know, if you get close to the result you want, you might be able to make some changes to make it even better at that point, right? So there it is, guys. Happy 2026. Hope this year is great for you. You know, everything is getting fake. And I appreciate real people. I know the people who watch my channel, they're great. Like, I know so many of you who've been watching me for years and years. You're really authentic people. You are bona fide. That's great. You know, if you try something new, it might actually work out. It might turn out better than you think. So don't be afraid to take risks this year. I haven't even thought about this. I just thought about making this video today. I don't know what risks I'm going to take this year. Do you know what risks you're going to take this year to become a more bona fide person? So there it is, guys. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. If you've made it all the way to the end, I really appreciate that. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. If you've made it to the end, leave a code word. And the code word is going to be bocconcini. Leave this word in the comment. Bocconcini. I don't know how to say that, guys. Who knows? Bocconcini. Bocconcini? Bocconcini? I don't know. Thank you, guys. I love you very much. I hope this year's great for you. Let's see what happens. Let me know how you're doing down in the comments. And I'll keep trying to make videos. Let me know what kind of videos you want me to make for this year, 2026. There it is. Guys, Happy New Year. All my love going out to you. Along with this bona fide lasagna. Alright, I'll see you over in the next episode of 2026. Mad English TV. Take care.